Not these. These are my dreams.
We're still together. We're still together. dreams were still together.
All right, mic check, mic check. All right, looks like we've got a signal. Shout out to those that may catch this transmission. Just thought I'd quickly go live quickly, just to, well, actually, I was watching the old school movie Seven, because somebody was doing a breakdown on it and why it's a masterpiece. And I got halfway through the 20-minute video and I thought, let me start watching Seven. Then I did see earlier, but basically I was watching it and then a notification popped up where somebody was going on about the title of this transmission, all right? Spotify hacked, what's going on, etc. So I thought I'd look into it. And lo and behold, we're going to now see what the numbers reveal. Of course, it's only right that I jump on it as I am into music. Oh, that last one, if you didn't know, that is by me. It's a rough version of it, but you know, it's decent, not bad. You know the movie Inception, a bit more to the story. I think I explained it before. I'm not going to explain it right now. The backstory of why I made that track, together with those specific vocals and what was being said. But anywho, again, you can follow along with the situation reveal show notes provided on the community wall post. So be sure to do that if you feel like it. I'm not forcing you. All right, and all right, let me change this banner. And also, give me one moment here. I did have it ready, but you know, these features just can never hold and do what you'd like them to do. And as always, or again, for the bazillionth time, when you split the screen so you can multitask, and the screen never lasts for very long, you know? I don't get why they have these features and they don't work. I don't get it. Maybe a different manufacturer that, you know, that uses this type of stuff or does it, or has those features, it works, but the stuff I've used, like Samsung and whatnot, and tablets and whatever, it just never works. It's incredible. Right, so on the community wall here. All right, let's get into this. So, part 1 of 2, right? So we're going to go through these first 10 slides. I don't think it was like a major breach, but it was a form of security breach / hack. You know, some nefarious accounts that was doing some, I don't know, there's like music scraping, I think they called it. So I don't know if they was deleting or only copying what was there. I don't know if they duplicated what was there, or if they deleted and then, duplicated then deleted what was there on Spotify. I'm not sure. Of course, feel free to, you know, look into the news and stuff. I didn't get all the news for it here, but we'll quickly go over some what was here in the screenshots. So yeah, hackers scrape Spotify's entire library. Oh, speaking about library, I forgot to see what that equated to. Spotify library. Let's see what that is quickly. Do you know what? Hold up here. Oh, actually, that's all right. Give me 1 sec here. I'm just moving these tabs around. Make things easier for myself. Right, so bing bang bosh. Right, so Spotify library. Let's see what that is. We'll look at library by itself and Spotify's library, or Spotify library. See what that has for us quickly in real time. Okay, so library. Spotify, whatever for Spotify, right? SPOTI. Spotify library and Spotify's library. Let's see what we got with all of that quickly. Ooh, interesting. 79. We have got and 85. Let me just add the single reduction in there as well, just to because there is S. Of course, S the 19th letter can be brought down once. So of course 1 add 9 is 10. But anyway, no, we don't have to worry about single. But yeah, no, the 22nd prime is 79, and it took place yesterday. Again, right now in the UK, we are around just gone past 2 o'clock in the AM, in the morning dawning, aka shadow hours. So yeah, Spotify's library 79, and if I remember correctly, didn't yesterday have a numerology of 79? Yeah. 12 and 22, 20 and 25 equals 79. Yeah, if you want to verify that quickly before we go back to it in a minute, quickly slide to slide 7 so you can see that. And keep in mind library, and I think it was it music catalog? I think it was music catalog was 85. Basically, October 7th leaves 85 days of the year, and that's the day that they are launched, right? That they launched Spotify. You'll see that anyway in a minute on the slide with Wikipedia. But for the slides I haven't put down again, because I've just done it in real time, Spotify's library equals 79. Again, the 22nd prime is 79. Yesterday was the 22nd of December when this situation took place, yeah? And again, just remember, library equals 85. We'll get back to library equaling 85. So, quickly start again. Hackers scrape Spotify's entire library, obtaining 300 terabytes worth of audio. Spotify says it's identified and disabled the nefarious user accounts. Hackers say they scraped Spotify's entire music library, compiling the metadata behind 256 million tracks tied to over 15.4 million artist profiles, and intend to make a massive amount of music available. Hold up here. So I didn't get all the screenshot. Hold up. Just trying to read that bottom bit. Available to torrent sites or torrents or whatever. Right. Slide 2. Spotify says piracy activists hacked its music catalog. Right. Spotify has identified and disabled nefarious user accounts, like we just said. The accounts that engaged in unlawful scraping, the company said in a statement. Music streaming Music streaming service Spotify said on Monday it had disabled accounts from a privacy activist hacker group that claimed to have backed up millions of Spotify's music files and metadata. Let me see what backed up is as well quickly. Let's have a look. Backed up. Back to the calculator quickly. 27. It was formed in 2008 when they launched, not when it was founded, because that was just before, but when they actually launched the streaming service. The early days of. It was on a life lesson, excuse me. It was on a day with a life lesson of 27. Yes, so a life lesson of 27. And that they're leaving 85 days of the year. Again, catalogued, libraries, you know, the Spotify library, again, library 85. And I think it was music catalog was at 85 as well. We'll get there in a moment. Again, we're not going to be too long on tonight's transmission. Anyway, it goes on to say, the group Anna's Archives said in a blog post it had backed up 86 million Spotify tracks and the metadata for the 256 million tracks, a process known as scraping, in order to start an open preservation archive for music. Let me see what that is as well. Preservation archive. Excuse me. Let's quickly see what that is. Preservation archive. Preservation archive. Can't see anything with that. Oh my god. The screen's done that thing again. It's so annoying. Give me a moment here. It's messed up my other half of the screen for YouTube. I've got to bring it back now. Split my screen. Sorry guys, one moment. Not that there's anyone here right now, but you know, you might be watching on the rerun of tonight's transmission. If you are, shout out to you. Alright, let's just get to the meat now. Right, so slide 5. You see I've circled it in yellow there. It's when it's launched, right? October 7th. 17 years ago, 2008. Next slide. Note that security breach equals 221 and 76. And of course, note below that, basically you're going to see a 29 coming up shortly, or 209, and you drop the 0, 29. 29th prime is, pretty sure it's 109. Hold on, let me double check. Let me check. Hold up here. Pretty sure it was 109. 28's 107, hold up. Yeah, 29th prime, 109, yeah. So anyway, cyber attack. They've got the 109, you'll see the 29 that goes with that. Music equals 29, but you'll see something on the date duration coming up in a sec. No, hack equals 22. Again, yesterday was the 22nd. Again, we spoke about 22 moments ago. Right, now we're looking at the word hack. Hack equals 22. Also note, I didn't dot it, but note in the middle, in reverse ordinal, again, Z becomes 1, A becomes 26, flip the alphabet around, add up the numbers, and you get 209 if you write out Anna's archive, right? Again, music equals 29, 29th prime, excuse me, the 29th prime is 109. Cyber attack 109. And was it Spotify library was 79? Spotify itself equals 79, and again, the 22nd prime is 79. Yesterday was the 22nd of December. Also note the 34, and as you see on the next slide, slide 7, the day numerology, the bottom there, bottom right, 34 underneath the 9. You see right at the bottom, 12 or 22 equals 34, of course, right? And again, of all the days that this happens on, and Spotify equals 79 and 34, and yesterday on the 22nd of December, you got a numerology of 79, 12 or 22, 20 or 25. I mean, give me a break. Spotify 79 and 34. Not to mention the 76 with security breach. 76, yeah? 76 days from the establishment date of Spotify. They're giving you a security breach yesterday, and security breach equals 76. Yesterday, day numerology of 34, Spotify equals 34. And a numerology of 79 and Spotify equals 79. I mean, come on. Not to mention the alternative span is 2 months, 2 weeks, and 1 day from Spotify's establishment date. Yeah? So we spoke about the 76 days. Yeah? Security breach. But also you got 2 months, 2 weeks, 1 day. And security breach, as well as equating to 76, it also equals 221, 221, much like 2 months, 2 weeks, and 1 day. I mean, what are the odds? Go to slide 8 now, and you will see I put the dot with the duration variations. You can see the 290 on the right hand side. Again, music 29, Anna's archive 209, drop the 0, 0 is just a placeholder. Oh look, hack equals 85. Remember, library 85, now we've got hack 85. And I think it was music catalog. We'll get to that in a moment. But what are the odds? Again, music equals 29 and 34. Again, Spotify does what? Deals with what? Although it has, you know, other stuff on there, like, you know, maybe somebody's reading a story or a podcast. But obviously, the main thing is music. Yeah? Music 34, like Spotify 34. And again, day numerologies don't change because it's just the month and the date of the month, right? Everything else changes, of course. Day in and days remaining doesn't change unless it's affected with certain months that are affected in a leap year. But you know, that doesn't change. Days in, days left. Day numerology, that stays the same. Everything else will change, but it's all the same numbers. So whatever comes up this month, you go to next month on the 20, or no, it will be changed though because it's January. But anyway, when it's not the year starting over, and you know, say it's January, then you know if it was on the 20th or the 22nd of January, this happened. If it happened next year, whatever the numerology is, you go to next month on the 21st, you'll see the same numerology there. Yeah. You might get the odd one that's slightly different, but for the most part, it'd be the same, if not the same. All right. And then the same for the month after that, the 20th, then the 19th, then the 18th, and so forth. Yeah? But yeah. No, it's not. It's not music catalog. That's 85. I'm chatting shit. But Spotify music catalog does equal 107, much like the launch date. Of course, Hamas, that was the Hamas attack situation, of course, all by the Jesuits. Jesuits control all sides. But anyway, I know I've got 85 coming up. But yeah, 29 with music and 34 with music like Spotify. with all what we've already spoke about. I mean, what? Okay, we go to part 2, slide 1. We don't need slide 1. We spoke about that. We spoke about slide 2. Go to slide 3. Identified and disabled 106. Where's the 85? Unless it must be late. I should have done the stream when I woke up. All fresh. And I mentioned it. Did I mention it? Yeah, I did mention the 27 earlier. I can't remember what it was. I don't want to go back. But anyway, if you remember the life lesson when it was established, it was on a date with a life lesson of 27, right? It's October 7th, 2 at 0 at 0 at 8, 27. And music streaming equals 27. 207, drop the 0, excuse me. So 207, drop the 0, 27. Give me a moment here. And that 106, identified and disabled 106, you'll see that on the date there. It was there before, but it wasn't that time to say it at that time with the other slides earlier. But anyway, 10 weeks and 6 days. So we spoke about the 76 and the 221, and now we've got the other date duration style, which is 10 weeks 6 days, which can go with identified and disabled. Catalogue, just catalogue by itself is 85. There you go, bam. All right, another trailblazer. Yeah, short and sweet, another trailblazer. Clear to see. This situation with Spotify is by the Jesuit Order. Yeah, just like all these cyber hacks and all these stuff going on. All right, I think I can close out now. If I forget anything I'm supposed to say, I'll put it in the comments. Wholeness. Spread love and light. Hashtag don't be a basic beast brainer. And of course, give gracious gratitude, but take no shit. Wholeness.